Deputy Humphreys.
Thank you, Concora. Can I be associated with the remarks in Deputy Bell by Deputy Nash? Certainly he is a great loss to the Labour Party, and I know statements will be taken further on. Just in starting my contribution, I think it's very important that we listen to each other when we have these debates. And can I associate especially the early remarks by Deputy Donnelly and the contribution by Deputy Matthews. We didn't get into the situation where we are all by ourselves. We didn't get into the situation just with Fianna Fáil getting us there. But we had a contribution from the rest of Europe, and the cost of getting Ireland back on its feet has to be shared right across the EU. And I think at this stage we are being treated despicably by our partners, and they do have to take a part of the responsibility. And it's been constantly said in the international media that Ireland are taking the measures to get this country back on its feet, but it does need the assistance and help of our EU partners. Can I say, over the last decade, we've invested significantly in research and development. And I heard a contribution by Deputy Daly earlier on about R&D tax credits. Well, I come from the private sector and from the pharmaceutical and technology industry, and certainly in my earlier years. And it's my experience that if you can anchor R&D into this country, you anchor good jobs right across the economy. In the pharmaceutical, in the technology, if you can maintain and hold on to the R&D element and attract it into the state, that in itself grows further jobs, good quality jobs and high paid jobs. And certainly I welcome the increase in the flexibility of the R&D. I think it will encourage our own companies to innovate and create the technologies and the products of the future. Can I say the reduction in VAT on sales relating to tourism, along with the airline travel tax, are an excellent proposal and will increase the number of visitors. And just listening to my own colleagues within our own parliamentary party, they are telling me this morning that bookings are up. There is a new increase in awareness, and I know that's part of the Queen's visit and Obama's visit, but it's also the attractiveness and the competitiveness that is coming into our economy. And I believe that will grow, and these measures will increase our competitiveness. And I know there has been studies that say that general VAT rate cuts haven't got a high impact on consumer spending. But I think in the manner in which this government has brought in those cuts will attract more tourists to Ireland, and on which my colleague here just mentioned earlier, the air travel tax. If it's not successful, and it's been said very clearly, we will go back. So the challenge has been put over to Ryanair and Aer Lingus is to increase the routes, increase the number of people arriving here, and the cut in the tax will stay. But if you don't deliver, we will return. Can I say, along with the PRSI reductions for low-paid staff, these are a significant concession to the catering and hospitality industry. And their calls for the working conditions of their staff through the reduction of the JLCs and should not be followed, because we are already showing that there is a flexibility and we're working together. In fact, research has shown that wage rates in the hospitality sector were 11% below the EU 15 average in 2008. So I'm saying very clearly is we have made major concessions to that industry to make them more competitive. Any further increase in competitiveness cannot come at the effect of reduction in pay for those low-pay workers. I would ask the Minister to keep these tax expenditure under review, because it's very important that it's passed on. Thank you, Councillor Coram. Can I just also say, I have concerns about the amount of money that are being spent on tax cuts, and I would prefer to see a bigger chunk of the money invested in infrastructure projects that would have the effect of addressing major structural issues in the labour market, with the collapse of the construction industry. And we must develop a sustainable construction industry. There's many members out unemployed that have now no option to getting jobs back in the construction. So we need a sustainable construction industry. Can I just say in conclusion, this is a very small levy in comparison that you see the charges on managing pension funds. We're looking at 0.6%. At the moment, members of pension funds are being charged 1.5 and more for managing funds which have lost money due to their bad management over a number of years. So I would say it's a 4-year temporary measure. We badly need investment in jobs. I think this jobs initiative is the first step. I look forward to seeing increased employment, increased confidence in the economy, and I think this is a first step in going that way. Thank you, Councillor, for your indulgence.